Last but certainly not least is science. I sent home in your bag the science textbook. It's the hardback book, the workbook. It's actually titled a notebook. That's what I will always call it, is the notebook. But it's kind of the accompanying workbook to this. Is soft. It's not hardback. And I will give one of those to your students on the first day of school. Okay. So this stays home, and just doesn't need to travel back and forth. We won't use this in the classroom. But the notebook that says right there, science notebook, I will give one of these to your students on the first day. And this will travel back and forth. A lot of the assignments will be for your student to complete a notebook page in this. And again, just kind of like most everything else, if you do it in this, leave it in it. Okay, but it comes back and forth. So leave it in this, and on science class time, I'll say open up your science notebook to page 2.5a, and I'll go by and I'll check and I'll make sure that everybody's done what they needed to do. Give it a little check mark. Okay, so this is important. A lot of times, too, we use this in class. So it's not just for me to grade the work that they did. It's also, we use this quite a bit. So crucial that this comes back and forth, and it will be in the pile of things that will be in your student's backpack on that first day of school. I try to do at least an experiment every week, but sometimes it's not quite every week. And we have a lot of fun. I'm tying together some science and history, and so we'll go out of order a little bit for science, but it's a great book. I love how it just really gives glory to God as our Creator. That's refreshing in science curriculum. You don't always find that. Just a little side note. So on an assignment sheet, I don't have an example of one right here, but if there is something attached to that assignment sheet that's an assignment, so maybe I have built up a lot of I call a reading response. So the assignment might say, read pages 24 and 25 in the science textbook and complete the reading response that's attached to the assignment sheet. That reading response they need to do, fill out the information, and then put it in their Satellite Day folder. Okay, but if it's done in a binder, it stays in a binder. If it's done in the science notebook, it stays in the notebook. But anything else goes in that satellite work folder. So that leaves me to the end, just to recap. 3 binders: math notes, English composition, history binder. Those travel back and forth every day, and those subjects have a binder. Science does not have a binder, but it does have this notebook. And then we keep a folder in class that, as we're doing classwork together, we'll add to that folder. And then when it comes down to the end of the unit and we're studying for the test, I'll send that folder home for the student to use as review, and then they'll bring that back and it stays in for the next unit, and we'll just kind of store things that we do in class that don't need to travel back and forth every day, if that makes sense. So 3 binders, and then we have satellite work folder, and I put their assignment sheets in a folder on that first class day of the week. I haven't decided exactly that process in regards to kind of our new COVID routine. So either I will put the assignment sheets in that folder on the first day of the week, and they'll take their assignment sheets out and put it in the backpack. I think that's what I'll do. And then I'll take those folders up. Yeah, I think that's how we're going to do it. Hopefully you're not feeling too overwhelmed. I know the Henrys spent so much time and effort and prayer over their COVID safety processes that they're putting in place. When he explained it to the teachers, I think it's a great plan. I think it's going to work well. In my classroom on Monday, Wednesdays, there's 16 students, so 2 students per table, and they're putting up a plastic divider in between each student, and their backpacks are going to be right there hanging off their desks, hanging off the tables, so they'll be easy to access it. We're not going to get up and congregate together over things, over grabbing the stuff that they need. Make sure they come with a little supply pouch that has some pencils, and if you have a student that really loves colored pens, they can bring some, but we're really wanting to limit what comes in and out, so they can't just bring this big old massive supply box every class day. No stuffed animals, no, I'm trying to think what came back and forth, just as bare bones as possible. Those few things that I've said that travel back and forth, their lunch, their water, their, sweatshirt if they need it. I would suggest some kind of second layer because we get hot and cold in our classroom. And, the students will sit alphabetically. They'll come in alphabetically, and then we'll leave. We'll come in A through Z, and we'll leave Z through A, and they'll go down and they'll sit in those same seats. So you're going to hear you've already heard all that, but that's how it'll be. In the classroom, I'm going to be really strict about all of those protocols. So I look forward to having a great, safe, wonderful year, and feel free to ask me any questions. Feel free to email me anytime. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. If it's just a quick what page number, or I think there might be a mistake on the assignment sheet. Did you mean this? I'll get back to you really quickly. If it's something that's going to take a little bit more thought and time, or you want to really discuss something, please allow for. I obviously won't be getting to that email during a school day, but after school hours, I'll try to answer that as quickly as possible. Okay, I think that's it, and I look forward to a great first day of school. Bye. One more thing. When you're thinking about putting together your child's pencil bag, I wanted to let you know that I have a plastic tub for each student that is theirs for their personal use for when and if we need extra supplies beyond just a pencil. And in that tub is everybody gets their own container of fat markers, of skinny markers, of colored pencils. Some extra pencils are in there. I put a pair of scissors in that box for them. So just know that you don't need to think through every possible scenario. We are going to provide them individual kind of art supplies for whenever we do projects in the classroom. Okay.